Hey, Brian from Garage Hall. Today I have it's a 2-for-1 video. Basically, it's going to be the HMPLL Hempel Sharpening Stone set and a Gubeter Chisel filing set, or sharpening set rather. So I'll show you how this works in conjunction with this. Couldn't do one without the other, and I have some chisels that definitely need some TLC for sure. So we'll see how both work in conjunction with one another. Anyhow, this does sharpen knives. Basically any type of a knife that you have, this will be able to sharpen. I've actually used these stones to do like meat cleavers as well as like axes at certain times. I have not used it to do a chisel yet, so let's see how this set works. So let's open it up and first see what we get. So you get your user manual and instructions. You get a leather strobe, which is pretty awesome. And what these do is it gets those little fine burrs off any of your knives when you're done sharpening them. Sorry about the noise. So anyway, you are basically attaching this to something that's going to like hold that in place, and then you're basically going back and forth. I'll kind of show you that. And then you have your different sharpening stones that come with this set. And I need a couple different ones, and I'm glad I got this because it basically comes with a variety of different stones. And this is your case, or basically got a rubber bottom so it'll hold it down for you. So that is everything that comes in that box. So let's see what we get in here. Okay, so this is like a smaller finishing stone. So put that off to the side. And I'm not sure what this is. But we'll figure it out. We'll read through the directions. So let's take a look at that real quick. Oh, okay, so this is your fixed stone for leveling sharpening stones. So if you get any like divots in there, so you got a 400, 1,000, a 300, and an 800 or 8,000 grit. All have silicone bases and angle guide. Anyway, so a bunch of different ones. So we're going to keep this out and handy in case we have to go through and use that for reference on anything. So these are your stones, and that is your basically kind of like your silicone base that will fit right in there. So let's get this. Oh, great. I was wondering if I had this. So it has your grit marked right on the side. So that is fantastic. Let me get my little Leatherman out to make getting this plastic off a lot easier. So that is great. So, and again, that sits in there. And you got a pretty firm foundation. Looks like it's a pretty tight fit, which I presume that you definitely want. So that's how that sits in there. Pretty nice. Let's get all these other ones opened up. And again, another silicone base. And again, this one is your 400 and your 1,000. And if you were like me, I get so confused sometimes at what grit is what grit. So that comes in handy. All right, let's get this one open. Okay. So this one's double-sided, and that has a little bit of an aggressive edge on it. And I think that's probably what we are going to start with when we do these chisels, because some of them are pretty beat up. They have definitely been put through some work. Okay, so there we go. we're ready to go on that. So let's go into part 2. Is this file set? So pretty handy. Take this out. Alright, so this comes in 2 parts. I kind of briefly took a look at how to use this. I confess that I have not tried it out yet, but we will figure it out together. So, okay, so you get 2 pieces. You get a sharpening guide, or this is the sharpening angle guide, and then you have a sharpening guide which works in conjunction with this. So let's take out this one first. So basically we are going to be putting the chisel in here to find out what the correct angle of this chisel actually is. Oh. So flat blade goes like that, and you can kind of like see it when you're putting it in there. It's the exact angle. So I don't know if that is quite a 20. Yeah, so that's going to be it's too much playing that one. All right, so from this is going to be a 20-degree. So I guess that is considered one of the bench chisels. Okay, so that's that. So we know it's 20-degree. And then what we're going to do is just adjust out so you can put your chisel in there. And I think what we are going to be doing, I think we're going to be putting that on there like that. Okay, so let's open this up a lot more. Okay, so that slides down in between there. And then we're going to use this as kind of the gauge. I guess this is, we're going to line that up in there. Oh, let me get that better camera angle. Okay, so what we're doing is we are lining that up to the 20-degree mark. And we're going to tighten that down. And yeah, okay, so basically it looks like we have the right angle on this. And these wheels kind of glide across your stone. And then you are sharpening that down. Oh yeah, and it's already. Start with the wheels here. And that's going to give you the right angle. And you can already see, and you always test the sharp. Well, yeah, wow, they already did a pretty fantastic job. So let's do a couple more strokes on this, and I guess make sure I got that nice and even. And that makes that so you can kind of see the drag marks from. Start to see how it's getting a nice edge on there, and that was nicked up really good. Okay, let's do a couple more. Wow, and you can, it's kind of hard to see, but, and yeah, I mean, that's the best way to test is back of your nail, and it is definitely taking some nail off with it. And then this is the flat part. Get some of the burrs off the bottom, but yeah, that has given new life to that one. Wow, okay. And this one is kind of large. And let's cheat a little bit. So I'm going to do the flat side first. Okay, let's find out what angle this one is at. No. So also, I think that is going to be, no, that's a 25. All right, so that's a 25 degree. So we're going to take this, and this is a super wide chisel, so pretty cool. We got this opened up. And yeah, all right, so that's about what size it is. I said it's 25, so we're going to line that up to the end of this. So right there is our 25 degree mark. And we'll tighten this down a little bit more. Okay, so right there, that's the angle. We'll take that up. All right, let's reset that. I had it the wrong groove in the holder. Better bird's eye view on that, so that is going to be right there. Okay, that's tight. Same thing, we're basically going to put the wheel. And this is a pretty large stone. I'm going to try to guide this a little bit better. But I mean, yeah, I mean, this definitely here working for sure. This one is nicked up really good, but you can already start seeing the edge forming. So this one's going to take a lot more work, but this, I know it's going to have the correct angle. Yeah, and you can see the outer edges, and it's starting to really get that back into place to make it nice and sharp. Wow, pretty exciting. Okay, so this is going to need a little bit more work, so we're going to do that off camera. And then I have some smaller ones here, so let's get this really zipped down so I can show you that it does small chisels as well. And let's find out what the angle guide says for this one. Keep flipping it the wrong way. Okay, so it's not that one. It's not that. So this is another 25. So let's get that really, I'm going to go a long way on that. Okay. I got that tightened down. Kind of tightened down. Okay, let's put that, slide it in there, slide that up, and then 25. It's going to be right there. Get nice and tighten up in there. Okay, and then this one, same thing. Get that stone a little more stabilized. Then this one, I have a little bit more room that I can travel across the entire stone face. So that's good. So let's turn that around. So we get kind of a symmetrical wear to our stone. And again, this is the heavy grit one, so this is going to take a lot more honing, but oh yeah, I mean, even with this heavy grit one, that it put that nice sharp, wow. Honestly, I never really knew about sharpening a chisel, but now I know I have the right angle for it. I know that I'm going to get them sharpened up, and it's like digging right into my fingernail. So, and this isn't even finely tuned. This is the tougher grit. So again, you can take that out, put the another grit. Let's go down to the 400, and then we'll get this one nice and we got a nice little edge going on that. I'm not running it straight. I'm just kind of running it down the stone. And we'll flip that around. Okay, let's see what that did. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. That's put a whole new edge on that. Fantastic. And again, you can keep sharpening it down with your different grits. You know, so then you got your 1,000. So we'll just put this back down here. Fits nice in there. And then we'll go down. And it's interesting how each stone has like a finer, smoother feel to it to restore that edge on the chisel. And I know a lot of you are watching are probably like, oh, you should clean that. Okay, wow, yeah. So that has absolutely restored that edge on that. Crazy, crazy easy. Love how these two products work in conjunction with one another. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Brian from Garage Hall, thanks for watching, and keep your chisels sharp. Be safe out there.